Hello, Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show. I am your host, Priska Anyolo, and you are watching NMH at 1. And for our first video today, we start with footage on to our second video where vendor clashes with city police. And staying with videos that went viral on social media this past weekend, a case has been opened against a female vendor over the weekend who allegedly slapped a city police officer and removed her wig. When asked to provide clarity, City Police Chief Abraham Kanime said the case stems from an incident on Friday during which the vendor, who was asked not to sell her wares along Independence Avenue in Windhoek's Oospelplaats area, flipped over her trolley in protest.
Yes. Amadila, you just leave the trolley.
And we do apologize for not playing the first video. We might play it again later on, but we'll move on to a quick ad break and we'll be right back. All right, so like I said, I already announced that the first video, we did not get to play the footage, but we will play it right now. But just a quick recap so you know exactly what you are about to watch. It is a footage of several people, including COVID-19 frontline workers who did violate the 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew rule. Do take a look.
20 and 5 o'clock. We'll charge you 2,000 each. Can you do that? No. Please, 'Some of you, when you see your officers in uniform, You just don't value them. If you come to us and say, sorry officer, I just have to do, please, I'm so sorry. We have no problem. We'll also learn to understand and also to listen. No matter where you are coming from, no matter who you are. I'm Chief Inspector Vandunem Dafonsesh talking to you. Normally, when you're an officer, don't fear anybody, respect everyone, and no favor. But we must do our work properly. From today on, I taught you and I told you what is Regulation 11.1. If you don't have any document, you don't tell me, no, I'm an officer and I'm coming from where? Officer, you are also part of this Regulation 11.1. Does not mean when you are an officer, you cannot be charged on this one. We will give you a fine. Regulation 11.1 says 8 o'clock, stay home. No more movements. No matter where you are coming from. No matter what type of job that you are doing. Some of you will come and tell me, no, I'm working, I'm a nurse. But you are not on duty. When was you were supposed to be at home? No, I'm a doctor. We understand the situations. But sometimes, let's not use positions. My dear brothers and sisters, COVID-19 is not a joke. If you've seen countries outside, countries who have every single thing to assist, they are also facing a problem. Who are we in Africa? Let's learn respecting one another. It's not for us, it's also for you. And we are just here to save lives. I'm telling you, like, you young girls, beautiful girls, think what time did we get you? Where are you coming from? We went to a friend party. After party, what is going to be next? Let's be serious, okay? Today is going to be a warning, tomorrow there's no warning, and I'll be on duty still the same time. I said I'm who? Then tomorrow you will go and say, no, we found officers. We are just informing you why we brought you here. From today, I believe you won't do the same mistake as you did today. If you are going somewhere, plan time. Starting from 7, start planning. Because 8 o'clock, you have to get home. Okay? Yes. Officers, do we have the keys?
Yes, ma'am.
What question?
Wait.
Guys, don't be disrespectful.
And now we move on to our COVID-19 news. An announcement on new coronavirus cases recorded in Namibia yesterday is expected this afternoon. By Friday, close to 53,000 people had been tested for COVID-19. Since March, this amounts to an average of 314 individuals being tested daily, while the daily average for the 7 days up to the 28th of August stood at 1,361. Of the 7,365 cases recorded by Saturday, 4,364 were still considered as active. The recovery rate stands at around 40%, with just more than 2,900 people cleared to go home or in their self-isolation. The mortality rate in Namibia is creeping up to 1 in 100. More than 10,000 people have been subjected to quarantine since the local detection of COVID-19. On Sunday, 31 people entered quarantine facilities while 20 were released. Please remember to protect yourselves and others during these trying times. But for now, let's go for a quick ad break and I'll be right back continuing with our video inserts for today.
Come on, I can see you love her, I can see you love her, and it's flowing in your veins.
And now we move on to our third video insert for today. In our next clip, Erongo Governor Neville Andre warns that although Walvis Bay may be seeing a decline in new recorded COVID-19 infections, this is no reason for the harbour, town and region to become complacent.
During the week under review, we have observed a decline in the figures of confirmed cases in the epicenter, Walvis Bay, where we saw the lowest figure of 4 cases being reported and the highest of 24 cases as of yesterday. We should, however, not use the low figures as an assurance that COVID-19 is being eradicated in Walvis Bay or around the region at large. We should continue adhering to the protocols of wearing masks, sanitizing our hands and washing our hands, maintaining social distancing, and limiting our movements in public gatherings. We still need to work harder for a longer period. We should cooperate with the health officials who are working hard to do contact tracing to ensure that we do not have people around who would willingly infect other people. It is for the common good of us all that we should cooperate with the health officials this time like never before. We are also seeing that we are struggling with the stigmatization in our society. I'm informed that there are some employers who does not want to take back their workers who come from isolation facilities. This should be rejected in the strongest term, as it is clear that it is violating the workers' rights. Namibia does not need these types of attitudes that we need, but what we need is to harmonize us ourselves in the situation of harmonizing each other, where the employers would support their employees through sessions to accept that having COVID-19 is something alien, and it is among us, and it is also it is for us to take personal responsibility to mitigate the COVID-19.
And last but not least, in our last video insert for today, staying with COVID-19, Edward Chivute, the wellness manager of the Walvis Bay Corridor Group, explains why they have decided to use its mobile clinics for their coronavirus testing.
Chivute from the Walvis Bay Corridor Group, project manager for the wellness department.
Mr. Chivute, tell us about the COVID-19 mobile trucks.
Well, the mobile trucks are basically there to support the national COVID response strategy of the Ministry of Health and Social Services and all the other partners. And what the Walvis Bay Corridor Group did is that we availed some of our mobile clinics to be used as part of the response team in conducting COVID testing in Windhoek, Commerce, as well as in Rongo region. So this basically the clinics that will definitely go to places within the communities where COVID testing is happening, and to provide seamless testing services without having the communities to flock at normally at one place. So the idea is really to decongest some of the health facilities through these mobile clinics.
Okay. And do you intend on rolling out more clinics in other parts of the country as part of the efforts to test more people?
Yes, we definitely will. And at the moment, we have also, apart from the mobile clinic, we have also what we call roadside wellness clinics. These are fixed containers that are located at cross-border sites. Currently, we have them in Katima, Oshikango, Walvis Bay, Hobabes, Oshiwarongo, and Oshikango. And these fixed facilities are basically also used at the moment to screen for COVID. And soon we want to then expand the screening to also testing in collaboration also with the Ministry of Health.
And your message to Namibians who would like to go for testing?
Well, this is the right time. There's always a question of do people need to test, and we say that you cannot fight against something that you don't know. The only way for us to fight COVID is if we know how many of our people are infected or are at risk of infection. And this is the right thing to do right now. People should monitor their symptoms. As we know now, also there's a lot of people who are asymptomatic with no symptoms. But for us to be able to respond effectively, we need everyone who's at risk to consider getting a test. We know what happened in Erongo. Targeted testing started. A lot of people were tested, and we are seeing now that the statistics or the infection rates are starting to go down because everyone is aware. A lot of people have been.
And now we move on to our dailies. In the NMH stable, the Namibian Sun reports that a 31-year-old teacher says that she is a broken woman after allegedly of interacting with at a party hosted at her school. The mother of two from Guma village in Kavango East was testifying before Magistrate Sonia Samopofu in the Ndiona Periodic Court during the bail application of 38-year-old Johannes Kativa. Republican reports that labor expert Herbert Jauch, who has recovered from the coronavirus, said that the doctors and nurses who treated him brought him back from the dead. He told medical staff that they helped him evade death by putting their own lives on the line after being released from Lady Pohamba Private Hospital. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that Allgemeine Zeitung reports on the lifting of the COVID-19 travel restrictions that were in place at Walvis Bay and Swakopmund and Durandus as well, which was among a raft of measures announced by President Hage Geingob this past Friday. The restrictions, however, stay in place in Windhoek, Okahanya, and Rehoboth. The Namibian reports that the health ministry is investigating a complaint from a mother who says her baby did not die from COVID-19, as the government announced on Saturday. New Era reports that teacher unions are not convinced that it is safe to reopen schools on the 7th of September for face-to-face classes due to rising COVID-19 cases countrywide. We are still in the middle of our daily newspapers. We're going for a quick break, but I'll be right back. Now I continue with more news in our daily newspapers. The Namibian Sun reports that police in the Oshana region have stopped operations at Hydroform Interlocking Solutions office in Oshakati and warned residents against associating with the building scheme, including paying money to the company. Republican reports that a massive fire has destroyed about 40,000 hectares on 14 farms in the Oshwarongo area. The blaze started about 75 to 90 kilometers south of Klein Waterberg. The Namibian reports that the Editors Forum of Namibia and media experts say that the relations between Hage Geingob's press team and the media fraternity are at an all-time low. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that government has raked in about 630 million Namibian dollars from the auctioning of its development objectives fishing quotas to local and international bidders. This, according to Finance Minister Ipumbushimi, is twice the amount that government would have raised if it had simply sold the fishing quotas at reserved prices. Successful bidders have until today to cough up. New Era reports that investigations into the case of a Windhoek resident who was arrested in May for allegedly being involved in the production and sale of child pornography on the dark web are still ongoing. The accused, 49-year-old Johan Wickes Marie, made his second appearance in the Windhoek Magistrates Court on Friday, where the matter was postponed to 4th of December to afford the investigation team enough time to complete their investigations. We are going for a quick ad break again, but I'll be right back with much more positive news in the news today. Some super positive news. The Namibian Sun reports that Irongo Governor Neville Andre officially opened two prefabricated 24-bed COVID-19 wards in Walvis Bay last week. The facilities located behind the Walvis Bay State Hospital were funded by the Health Ministry to the tune of 12 million Namibian dollars and took around 3 weeks to complete. And Republican reports that Namibia has recorded a bumper grain harvest that is a whopping 270% improvement from last year. A total of 174,900 tons of grain has been harvested. And on that note, that is it for today. Stay safe and have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for listening to me, your host Priska Anyolo on NMH at 1.